Hello friends, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to come to you to do a little expose, and this one is the most interesting one yet because I will be exposing myself. Please excuse my sinuses if you can hear this, because I have allergies from probably eating too many peanuts. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, but I wanted to talk to you about my shadow side, or the darker aspects of my personality, how dark it actually really does get, so viewer discretion advised, and what triggers it. The one thing that I have learned now after 45 trips around the sun, that truly triggers the darkest part of me. And that thing, honestly, the thing that this is going to be, it's kind of ironic. The thing that triggers the darkest part of me is the sun. And more importantly than that, or more specifically than that, the heat that the sun emits. And this might seem light to you, but it's not, because if you have been following along here, you would know that I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada. And if you've ever read the first chapter of my book, which is available on tumblr.com, Dark World Lightwork, and I will actually repost it again, because every time I mention it in a video, I'll try to repost it so that anybody who sees the video in real time can go read it. I mention very quickly in the book that I grew up in Sin City, where every year the town celebrates its debauchery by getting as hot as hell. And I tell you, when I get to a certain temperature, I can definitely tune in to a hell frequency. And out here, living outside without the ability to truly escape from it in a meaningful and private way, I get, I'm not joking to you, so angry that I hate God, and I wish that my energy could meet that energy in any sort of form so I could destroy it. If it was human form, I would cut its head off. And it burns. The rage that I have for the energy of even human beings who are made in his image is so strong that it burns like the fire of hell. And the crazy thing about it these days is because I live outside under such a pressure cooker, and because there is so much smog and so much pollution and so much electromagnetic energy, the temperature at which I can reach this frequency is about 70 degrees unless there is a consistent breeze or overcast. And I get increasingly more angry the hotter it gets. If my body temperature gets hot and hot and hot, the fury is so deep sometimes that all I can do is just sit and stare blankly at a wall. Have you ever been so furious that you are rendered paralyzed? That you are paralyzed by your own fury, because if you actually acted upon that fury, you would destroy everything in your general vicinity? I wish that I could blow this planet up almost as much as the core of the earth, which is it could blow this planet up as hot as this planet has gotten. And I don't know what the reasoning is for the global warming. If it's not human caused and can be fixed, it will be the end of the human race. Whether we like it or not, whether we turn this ship around or not, because it is too motherfucking hot. I'm not joking. Because I cannot escape the heat in California, which is arguably the coolest weather, all the way up the coast into the Pacific Northwest. At some point, there will be no escape. When the places that are supposed to be 60 degrees when it's summertime are 80, 100 degrees, that is the point where people are going to start to pass away, because the people who are in those environments aren't used to that weather. This is a big problem. And it really unleashes the shadow side of me. And the most interesting, or a noteworthy thing about the darker aspect of my personality is people can sense it. They can feel it when they meet me, and it makes them sometimes very uncomfortable. And oftentimes people try to trigger the dark aspect of my personality, and they want it to be to their liking. Like, they want me to react the way they want me to react. No. First of all, you can't trigger a human being, can't do it. However, if you get in my way, if I'm too hot, then you might feel the heat from my energy, because I get very, very hot. And sometimes I will just look up and somebody looks like they're afraid. Like, I guess you can just see it in my eyes. And the interesting thing is that there's people who spent many, many years trying to trigger that energy in the way that they wanted me to react, which is never, ever going to happen, because who the fuck are you? Who are they? How would you even, if you're the type of person who is being brutalized and humbled each morning by the sun, by Ra, you don't have time for mere mortals. Okay, that's a very important thing. And I feel like my main thing that I do when I act out, and you can see this if you look back on my vlog, is I feel the need to let the people in my life, or who aren't in my life, who tried to infect my life, know that if you wronged me, you will never, ever be able to make that right. And for me, my absence, the absence of my energy, the absence of my light, the absence of my unconditional love, the absence of my ride or die vibes in a person's life, whether they are willing to admit it or not, is almost fatal. It is fatal to a part of their spirit that they can only connect to when they are in my energy. And I know how valuable and powerful that energy is. So when I come on my Tumblr or even on this screen and let you know that you will never, ever have access to that again or in human form, and that hurts a lot of people, especially the ones who have already had access and had it revoked. From the bottom of my heart, from the pits of hell, from the darkest part of me that connects to the darkest part of everyone else, you have fucked with the wrong starseed. And then once I let that out and let them know, I feel a little bit better. But I only feel the best when the temperature drops. So that is the dark side of me. And it gets very, very dark. And the reason why I'm able to navigate through the dark world as well as I don't have any compassion for or mercy for the bad guy. But I understand, and I am not afraid of the bad guy. And I am not afraid of the victim. I am not afraid of the crime. I am not afraid of the energy. I am not afraid of the dark. And that is very important to understand, because everybody who's the bad guy let the smooth taste fool them. They saw the smile, they saw the button nose, and they thought that that meant that I was weak. And these are people from like the FBI who they should have known that wasn't going to fly. But anyway, that's the whole point. And I do appreciate the darkest part of me because it makes me more complete of a human being. This is not the kind of energy everyone could even carry or calibrate. But I do it to the best of my abilities, even when the temperatures rise. Today, I wanted to come to you to open up about a little bit of a struggle that I have been going through, probably the whole time I've been out here, but it's getting increasingly worse. And that is the idea that I spent a ton of money on this car, money that I could be using now to travel around had I not spent so much money on such a nice car. And I've had to sit in here and watch it just completely get destroyed. It's full of dog hair, so full of dog hair that I don't think anyone could ever get it clean. Clementine has jumped over the console and scratched the console. The entertainment system is scratched. And now I have gotten, in the last week, I don't know if it's somebody sending me negative energy or what, but I've gotten 3 dents on my car from people hitting my car with their door. And I just woke up to another one just today. And so this is really heartbreaking to me because the first dent was kind of like in a place where you couldn't see it, but these last 2 are very, very evident, and it just makes the car look trashy. And I've tried a lot of methods to try and get the dents out myself, but it's just, they got increasingly worse. And just like when somebody stole my jacket, it's so disheartening. And this really, really breaks my heart because I bought this car trying to start a new life and, you know, have a nice little car. And it wasn't a downgrade, but I did go from a Mercedes-Benz to this car, but it was a 2006. And so I upgraded. And I wanted to at least have something nice and new to start my new life. And as you may know, if you've been following along here, the second I was able to get this car, my mom kicked me out of the house. And then I had to use the rest of the money that I'd saved, which was a ton, in 5 or 6 months, trying to keep myself and my little dog inside with a roof over our heads. And I did the best I could at that time. And it wasn't good enough to get us inside because you can't do anything alone. And when your own family goes out of their way to sabotage you and there's nobody else that really is looking out for you, things like this happen. And so when things like this do occur, just like when somebody stole my jacket, this really hurts because I've been doing everything right. Specifically with the first door ding, I was sitting in the car and I was parked so far over out of my lane. Like I was parked into the gutter. Like that's how I park. Like I'll park by a pole or by the wall, or so that there's only a chance for one person to be next to me. And these people in Southern California will take advantage of that. And so there was a lady who was in my lane, in my stall, and she swung her door open 3 times and hit my door. And I was in a position at the time where I really just couldn't even get out of the car because it was the nighttime and I was on my way to sleep and I didn't even have any clothes on, really. It was really, really I felt very violated. And I'm sick and tired of that feeling. There it is. All right, friends, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you. Love you. Bye.